Getting closer now, let's get straight on with the review for Uncommon Bond. Starlight is excited to be spending a few days in Ponyville with Sunburst, but as they explore the town and encounter her new friends, she starts to worry when it appears that he now has more in common with them than he does with her. This episode is a joint effort from Josh Haber and Kevin Lapin, which I would have to say is one of the more interesting pairs I've seen, given that Haber has had a key role in the show's writing and production since season 4, and Lapin was newly added to the team this season, and thus far their runs on the show have been something of a mixed bag. However, working together seems to have paid off, as Uncommon Bond showcases both writers at some of their best. The premise is an instantly interesting one, as it marks the first time that Starlight and Sunburst have found time to properly catch up since their childhoods, without a sudden event like a snowstorm or changeling invasion to distract, and the story takes a very realistic approach to it. Both ponies have keen plans and hopes for how they want to spend their time together, and both are very relatable in how one has their expectations exceeded and the other has theirs fall short. As he's never been to Ponyville before and is excited to browse its antique stores, it's great that Sunburst is captivated by what he sees during his visit. And when he bumps into Twilight in the same store, seeing them bonding through their mutual passion is very charming. Especially when you also think about how little he socially interacts with other ponies. The same can be said for when he meets Trixie and Maud and how they connect through their love for magic and rocks respectively. These moments for Sunburst are believable and delightful, if slightly bothersome at times, as in getting caught up in meeting and getting to know these ponies, he does seem to start losing sight of the fact that he's also in Ponyville to spend time with Starlight. And through some brilliant writing, the script expertly examines how she's feeling too. She's never unhappy to see Sunburst making new friends, but she is clearly disappointed that the time they plan to spend together isn't going how she hoped, and it's easy to identify and sympathise with her as well.
What are you talking about? Why would Sunburst be doing any of that? I thought he came to Ponyville to see you.
I thought so too, but it hasn't worked out that way. When we were foals, we had more in common than any two ponies in Equestria. But now it seems like he's got more in common with my friends than he does with me.
Oh, every pony changes. But that doesn't mean there aren't still things you both like. You both love magic, right?
Magic?
Sure, you're really good at it, and Sunburst practically knows every spell that ever was.
You're right! Thanks, Twilight. You're the best!
I try.
There's even a scene where Starlight attempts to literally recreate her childhood with Sunburst by taking them back and de-aging them to a time where they both loved playing games and working on magic together. And it's an excellently written sequence driven by a strong and varied level of emotion. You can understand why Starlight writes and performs the spell and why she's eager to relive these memories, even though she is being very desperate and forceful towards Sunburst. And in that sense, you can also understand why his confused hesitation leads to him snapping at her, even though he ends up hurting her in the process and making her feel even more lonely and hopeless than ever. It's a perfect piece of well-rounded characterization, as both have moments where they overreact to the situation, but never in a way that's unbelievable or out of character. The third act brings all the episode's characters together and makes fantastic use of them, as they help enhance the episode's messages about enjoying your friend's company even if it doesn't seem like you have too much in common, and remembering that while growing up means that interests can and do change, that doesn't mean that there's no longer anything that you and your companions still enjoy doing together. While this moral does share similarities to the one presented in Forever Philly, the way it works here is equally effective and easy to relate to, with the story wonderfully utilising it with Starlight and her friends playing an expanded version of her favourite game. But just when you think this scene, followed by a group hug at the train station, is already a perfect way to finish the episode, there's one final and incredibly notable shot right at the very end, as it leads into the season finale by teasing what's next to come in an immensely intriguing way. A sweet, heartwarming and resonating story with plenty of great character moments, Uncommon Bond is another terrific episode in this season, and gets a Gold Star score of 9 out of 10. So those were my thoughts. Now as always, I'd love to hear from you, so please be sure to share your opinions on this episode down in the comments. Just Shadowplay left for me to review now, and I am definitely looking forward to that one. But until then, thank you for watching as always, and keep shining on, every pony!